Woke up to the sunrise, feeling brand new. The world's so wide, and I'm ready to break through. The rose calling my name, it's a wild, sweet sound. Every step I take, I'm just turning it around. I've seen the mountains, the oceans, the skies. Every sunrise paints a new surprise. So far, I'm chasing the dream of who we are.
Today I am in Playa del Carmen in Mexico. It's been about 5 years since I was last in Mexico, and I only really went to Tulum, which I absolutely loved. And I'm not too far from Tulum now, but it's a bit of a hassle getting there. I am slightly tempted to go tomorrow, but I'm not going to have a lot of time, and I would like to explore a little bit of Playa del Carmen. So I arrived last night, quite late, and from this evening onwards I'm going to meet up with another Intrepid group and going to spend about 2 weeks going around Central America. I think I'm going to do more and more of these Intrepid trips because they often go quite well. Doesn't mean I'm not going to solo travel anymore, because I will still go off and do my own adventures from time to time, but this seemed to be quite a cheap trip compared to some of the other ones, and a good way to get around some of Central America. And this is Portal Maya, which is a big sculpture type gate or portal which leads back to the main town and also to the beach. So I think later on there'll be lots of other things going on here, and there'll be lots of performers and all sorts going on, so I'm definitely going to come back a bit later and see what's going on here then. Beach doesn't look the best because there's lots and lots of seaweed that's been washed up, and I think that's quite a big problem here in Playa del Carmen. Just walking along 5th Avenue now, which is kind of like the major tourist street. I think all the bars and restaurants are going to be a little bit overpriced here, but there's going to be quite a bit of variety, so this is probably somewhere where I'm going to come later on to have a few drinks, and it's also where I'm going to look for breakfast right now. So just down here we have a little house which says Alex, or Alex I think, and you think this could be like some sort of dog house or cat house, but no, it's actually a house for a god, a Mayan god called Alex. And this is kind of, I'd say like a shrine, but I think it's more of an actual house rather than a shrine. But I think it's meant to bring good luck to this property. I'm very much against zoos, as most people know. Not all zoos, but the majority I don't really support. I don't think they are ethical. And this place has lots of wild animals from the region in tiny cages with no room to move around, just for tourists to see and take photos of. So I don't think they should be put in confined spaces, and there's no way I'll be going in there. I'm hoping the beaches in Belize, when we get to Key Colca, will be better than these. I think they can be quite nice beaches here at Playa del Carmen, but with all the seaweed here at the moment, they're not ideal. Mayan ruins in Playa del Carmen itself, but these are the Playa Car Mayan ruins. There are a few others. There's one in a theme park that you can actually enter, but these are the free ones, and there's a few bits around, but I think some of the sites that I'm going to go to over the next 2 weeks are going to be way more impressive, and there's going to be a lot more to see there. Just walking through the Plaza 28 de Julio, which I thought was going to be like a main square, which it is quite a big square, but there's not really anything happening here. So I don't know if it picks up a bit later on in the evening. There's a couple of booths over there, but there's not really much going on at the moment. So within a few hours this morning, I've seen most of what I wanted to see. Now I think there's a lot more to see around Playa del Carmen, but a lot of it is going to be day tours and you need to venture out a little bit. But it's still quite a nice coastal place to hang out. I do prefer Tulum because it's more of it's a bit more adventurous, definitely more chilled and kind of more beautiful, but more expensive. Kind of feel that if you see a bar called Dick and Willie's, you have to go in for a beer. It does seem like Fifth Avenue is getting more and more busy as the afternoon goes on. More things are opening up, more people are walking around, so I think by tonight this place is going to be buzzing and full of people. Quite tired, it was quite a late night. I got back at 3:30 this morning. I met up with the wider tour group, so there's 16 of us all together, a mixture of ages and sexes, so male, female, kind of even. I'm sharing a room with a 68-year-old, but he seems quite chill and quite easygoing, so I don't think he even woke up when I got in at 3:30 this morning. Went out with a couple of the guys last night. They all had to be up early today because they were going to go to the archaeological site in Tulum. I've already been there, so I did that years ago, so that's why I thought I don't really want to pay the money to go and visit because it's quite expensive and an early start, so I've skipped that and I'm going to meet the group in about an hour or so at a cenote. But everyone else had to wake up early, so the two guys I was out with, they probably must have got in maybe about 1:30, 2 a.m. So not my fault because I can be a bad influence, but I think it was down to them that they wanted to stay out, and we were having quite a good night out. I'm not going to get to visit Tulum on this trip. I'd love to have gone, but is it worth just going for a few hours and then trying to get back? It's a bit of a hassle getting there and back. So if I ever want to go back to Tulum, it would have to be just an actual holiday there and spend a few days there at least. Chicken Ha, which is fairly quiet, which is nice. There is another section which is kind of in a cave, and I think the rest of my group is there. I've kind of lost them, but this little bit here is really peaceful. There's only a couple of other people around. I finally found my tour group, but they've gone to the other cenote where I started, but it's getting a bit too crowded and busy there, so I've gone to the one where they started, which is the cave one. You are meant to wear your life jacket here. As I don't swim, I don't really want to get too deep, but I might have a bit of a paddle in there. Just had breakfast at this place, Lara and Luca, which is about 10 minutes from the hotel. And that was a good breakfast. Closest to a fry-up that I could find. Eggs, bacon, sausage, but it was really good. Not too expensive. So I definitely recommend getting breakfast from there. There's quite a few options, all different sorts of eggs Benedict, and lots of healthy options as well. Yeah, I'm set up for the day with that breakfast. Last day in Playa del Carmen. Thought I'd have a quick walk down to the beach where the portal is again before going to the hotel and checking out. We're gonna head on down to, I'm not sure what the place is called now, I've forgotten. We're going to a beach club this afternoon and we're gonna do a boat trip before then going to a southern city in Mexico. And tonight is gonna be our last night in Mexico before heading on into Belize. But yeah, it's been good here in Playa del Carmen. I do prefer Tulum, at least from when I was there about 5 years ago. But it's still quite cool here, and there's stuff to do, but I think a lot of the things you'd have to do here would be day tours, and there's not a great deal to see in Playa del Carmen itself. Now at Bacalar Beach Club, which is where we're going to spend most of the afternoon, chilling on the boat to start with, and then come in here for some drinks. It's not often I go into water because I can't swim, but it's not too deep here, it's really chilled, and it's not too cold, it's just really nice and relaxing, so just enjoying my time in the lagoon. Arrived in Chetumal, which is one of the most southern cities in Mexico, near to the border of Belize, which we're going to cross over into tomorrow. And there's a beautiful sunset right now, but we're on an orientation walk just to get to see the city a little bit, because we're not spending very much time here at all, because we've got an early start leaving for Belize tomorrow. But yeah, it would have been nice to be able to just sit and watch the sunset, because it really does look amazing over there. However, there's going to be plenty of chance to see sunsets in all the other locations we're going to be heading to. On the bus going towards the border with Belize, I think today is going to be a little bit of a long journey day. We're going to be jumping on and off the bus as we go through the border, but hopefully it'll be easy and no hassle. We have got to pay an exit fee, which I don't think we're meant to pay, because everything I've read online says we're not meant to pay it, and it works out at $60 US. But at the end of the day, I've got the money with me, and I think they're going to force us to pay. There is another fee you've got to pay, which is about $12 US, but I don't think we're paying that one, even though that's the one we're meant to pay. But we're going to pay the one we're not meant to.